us what was behind her decision not to leave.
World Vision believes that we will stay on in any difficult situation to support the vulnerable children. So we want to stay and deliver and keep up to this commitment and tell the children that we are here, and these challenging moments, we understand it's difficult for everyone, but at the same time we want to support you, we want to see that your dreams are realized, and we will stay with you. That's the message that we want to pass it on.
I understand you've had some communication with Taliban leaders. What sort of reassurances have you got?
The unified message from their side during our meetings is that they want the humanitarian actors to continue working, because they understand there is huge humanitarian crisis in this country, and they also recognize the work done by the humanitarian communities. So they would want the humanitarian communities to be there and to support the people. So that's the message that they are passing on.
If they're saying basically they need you to stay on in the country, do you have any room to try and ensure that rights are respected going forward?
Yeah, that is where we want to take a stand. It's the right moment to tell them that we have invested in our female colleagues, and our women have quite a bit of capacity. And they have been contributing a lot to the humanitarian sector and for the development of this nation. So they need to be recognized. They need to be included as a recognized workforce with full assurance of safety and security. That is our demand.
And what do they say to that demand?
We have been not getting very clear answers. In some provinces, as you know, Taliban also work in a decentralized way. In some provinces, they agree to our demand. In some provinces, the answer is not very clear. But we need to also have a unified message from them, what would be their stand and requirement of women workforce. So that is quite crucial for us.
And look, it is confusing for women. The Taliban are saying today that women should stay home at the moment because the Taliban fighters actually don't even know how to deal with women. That's a very disturbing thought.
Yeah, that's highly disturbing. And as a women leader sitting here with World Vision, I'm really concerned about my female colleagues, what's going to happen to their future, what's going to happen to their children. And I have seen that this country has a lot of potential, and it has to be utilized in a proper way. And women are quite crucial for the development of this country. They cannot be ignored.
So, how can we believe the Taliban who say women's rights will be respected if at this point in time their fighters, their security forces don't know how to even speak to women, they say?
Yeah, that is where we need to really advocate. That is where I feel as humanitarian workers, we need to stand together and tell them that they need to have a clear stand on female workforce. We need to tell them that their capacity has to be recognized. It is the right time, and they have to build the trust. They have to show in action that when they say that they respect women's rights, and within the Sharia law, they have to also clarify to us what is that women's rights within the Sharia law, what would happen. So these are very unclear to us. But what we request or what we advocate is that it's the right time that the women capacity is to be recognized, and it should be treated in a dignified way.
It is interesting because the Taliban are now saying to the US that no further Afghans can be evacuated, and there are real risks around Afghans, even with the right documentation, leaving Afghanistan. They say part of this is because they need their skills in the country. Is that credible?
I hope it is credible. That's what I want to believe. Because without the intellectual population, if everybody goes out of the country, it's going to be a brain drain situation for Afghanistan. So if Taliban can really recognize that this potential is what we need for the country's development, they should show that in action, create a lot of trust among Afghan communities. It is the crucial moment for them to say, it's not words, but your action should speak now. So you should walk the talk and help the people to understand that you will keep up to the agreements, you will protect people, you will ensure safety, and that alone will enable the Afghan communities not to leave this country but to stay on and contribute to its development. So it's a challenging moment. So it is the right time that Taliban begin to put in action all that they say.
Yet I'm sure what you encounter on the streets is just fear, anxiety, and so much uncertainty.
Yeah, it's you see a lot of fear, and you can understand why this fear and anxiety is. People don't want to see what has happened before 20 years. They don't want their children to face those crises. That is the way they want to run away. And if there is no assurances seen in action, it's going to be a highly difficult moment for Afghanistan.
Are things even functioning in any credible way? I mean, of course, we see the scenes around Kabul, but how, are the banks operating? Are people able to get their groceries?
We have seen some small shops open, so we are able to get the necessary things, but ultimately the banks are not working. So the economy of the country is standstill. I'm just wondering how long people will survive with the money that they have. At one point, there will be no cash. So it's the right time. There should be a decision on operationalizing the banks, because that alone will help the economy to grow and people to have sufficient cash to buy things that they need. So as of now, I think people are just managing.
We wish your mission success, and we do hope you stay in a safe place. Asuntha, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you so much.
Well, the US